During my junior year in high school, I was formally introduced to the doctrine of Calvinism. Inside of Calvinism lies the principle of predestination. Predestination simply states that because God knows everything that was and is to be, and he knows it about every single person, this means that he can tell who is good and who is bad. This binary way of looking at human morality is synonymous with how I viewed human morality as a young person. Everything was black and white. There was no room for gray. It's easy to look at the people we interact with on a daily basis in this manner, good or bad. The parameters that we use to judge those interactions are so narrow that it's impossible to come up with a truly accurate representation. It's only by looking deeper into the person, by getting to know them, by getting to know their story, that we really learn what the truth is about them. I'm here to inform you of a former belief that I've held since a young age until high school, and why that belief was so deeply rooted. Then I want to discuss how that changed. And lastly, I want to discuss my new perspective and how that's affected my life and the lives of those around me. This binary way of looking at the world was a direct result of my religious upbringing. People seem to easily fit into boxes, good and bad, Christian, non-Christian. The main driver of this is that Christianity teaches that all people start off bad or depraved, and they must be saved in order to, well, you know the story. But this, coupled with the notion of predestination, it seemed that good and evil was not a choice, it was a destiny. It was something put upon you by someone else. This produced a cynical mindset going into junior high. Every mistake that I made from there on out was amplified. I felt as if I wasn't one of those chosen good few that God had on his list. This persists going into high school until July 13th, 2017. This is the day that my father died in a plane crash. This day, I learned what real hurt was. And then I learned what real tough decisions are. How could this man, who tried to see the good in everyone, be so wrong? I had to find out for myself. I had to investigate and I had to challenge what I had previously thought. I started looking into human psychology and philosophy. I looked into the likes of Fyodor Dostoevsky and Friedrich Nietzsche, both of which attempted to test the extremes of human morality. Developmental psychologists have been trying to answer the question of, is human behavior nurture or nature for decades? So I looked there. I learned in both that if people are inherently bad, that isn't the whole story, and that isn't how it ends, and it isn't as simple as good or bad. I began to realize that morality is very complex, that people don't fit into boxes. My new perspective now, I see people as more of a four-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. What story do their lives tell? If we look at people's lives as a narrative, then we're looking at it as accurately as we can, because it's exactly what people's lives are, a narrative. Effective listening has also been a great teacher. In listening to people with this new mindset, it's enriched conversations. It's made my life better and the lives of those around me. Not only do I learn more about them, but they feel listened to. People all have good and evil in them. But the way to tell which is which is to listen to them. In conclusion, I used to lean into and trust my unconscious bias about human morality and the good or badness of them. Now, I take a different approach. I've never been so bold as to say all people are good or all people are bad. Now, I'll never be so bold as to say that anyone is all good or all bad. All the little idiosyncrasies that we have in our lives, they matter. And that's what makes people interesting. Thank you.